And we're all set for another Cosmic Watch. I'm Franklin, your astrologer. And welcome. Come on in. Um, we have a chat room here. We'll be talking with some of our subscribers. And also, anytime you'd like to have a private reading with me or any of the other psychics here at weforetell.com, that's the place to go. weforetell.com. Find the contact number, schedule, and in the description, and you'll figure it all out. But also, right there for you is our content, which includes the horoscopes, the monthly horoscopes that we put out that are very informative, and you can check out not only the horoscopes but also the compatibility videos are available, showing you how the different signs mix and how they get together. And there's also lessons on reading the tarot cards, doing readings for yourself and friends and family. And that's where we all start out. And if you like what you see, please hit thumbs up because it really does make a difference. We thank you for your support, and also remind you that all of our content is now available also on Spotify, so you can check it out there. I I am a tarot card reader myself, and when I ask what kind of uh, a hour we're going to have tonight, I um, um, the, the tarot reading shows me that my work is as a messenger to to bring to bring together the um, the two worlds, to bring messages from the spirit world to the material world, and that's how I do readings, is to make contact with your spirit guides. Each of us have spirit guides who offer us omens and signs and whisper in our ear, and it is through those guides trying to tell you, trying to answer your questions, that my guides hear your guides, and my guides can send the right card to my hand. It's up to me to interpret the card, and this is why it's a very personal connection for for everyone. Everyone has spirit guides. And here's Larry joining us in the chat room and saying, "No more dead tree dreams." Ha, 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 ha. Larry had a dream that this big tree was falling right at him in order to get his attention, right? And and when he had that dream the second time, is when we talked about it, and it really looked to me as though there was going to be a third instance of that dream where it would actually reveal why Larry was being singled out by that tree coming at him, showing him he was in a particular place at a particular time for a reason. Just like everything that we do in life. Newton said, a body in motion tends to stay in motion. Well, It is very true. A body in motion on this earth, living life, tends to stay in a straight line, living that life until circumstances beyond their control get in the way and start moving them around. And this is evolution. This is us finding our way. And Larry, do you have a particular question tonight, or would you like me just to turn a card for you as we get underway? Very often, when people have a very direct question, that's the easiest work in the world, because your guides, when you ask that question, your guides are coming to you through the voice you'll trust most. That's your own. They're talking to you all the time. Larry says, pull a card. Take a chance here, right? Let's see, Larry. Where are you at this particular time? What's up with you? Okay, well, you can see the money there in the window. That's a church window. The people are walking barefoot in the snow. These people have a lack of connection to the spirit world. They're walking under a church window here. And it's the reason money is being withheld from them, the reason money is a problem, and they're really concentrating on it, is that it's being withheld from them to make them ask their spirit guides for their help. Why are your guides with you? They're there to help, to be useful. Like everything in this entire universe has a karmic purpose. Even the negative side of the universe is there for a reason. Without temptation, how would we ever find that we could resist temptation, right? somebody has to supply the temptation, and that's where the negative side of this universe comes in. And because they're doing it for us, right? It's necessary, and they feel necessary. And so, Larry, what this card is showing is that it's your connection to the spirit world that is going to bring the things that you've been asking for into your life. And it's by asking for what you want. And this is always the biggest thing about getting what you're asking for, getting your dream, your prayer answered, is by having a clear picture of what you want in your mind. That means your spirit guides can see what you want, and knowing what you want is so much of the whole thing. Larry says, no visitors so far tonight. Larry has a great degree of intuition, and he has guides who are family connected, and they really love to be around him. And he's like all of us. He often goes to sleep in front of the television, right? And as he's just about to nod off, he'll notice at the doorway, a little spirit looking around to see if he's nodded off yet, waiting to come out and get up in his lap, right? To enjoy the feeling, the emotion. And this is why some of our spirit guides are with us, purely to experience our emotions. The one thing that must be missing in the spirit world is emotion. And the spirit world teaches us to be desireless, right? To get past desire. And if there is no thing to be desired, then your guides don't know which way to lead you. But if you have a very clear picture in your mind of exactly what you want, this is the greatest thing in the world for getting it, because it gives your guides something to work with. Your guides are there to help you, and the way that you can thank your spirit guides for the help that they give you is by using their advice, by actually having enough faith in your connection to the spirit world to know that your guides can be trusted, that they're leading you in the right way. But sometimes the guides are there for your emotion. And nothing in this world stirs emotion in a human being than anger. Now, think about yourself. With these guides inside of you, maybe wanting a joyride, right? Wanting to ride your emotions. So they stir you in situations that stir your blood, your emotions. Have you ever been so angry that you said something that you really did not mean to say, and you wonder, where did that come from? I didn't want to say that. And it's the guides who are inside of you. Not every guide, it is like Larry's child, completely benevolent, just looking for love. That's the emotion that child spirit that comes to Larry, it is looking for. They don't even know what anger and hatred are. And being such a young spirit. so spirits come to us for very varied reasons. And the biggest thing to know is that when you ignore a warning from your spirit guides, they're going to hit you harder next time. They're trying to get your attention and your health and your money. Boy, doesn't that get your attention? And here's Karen joining us in the chat room saying hello. Karen, how is work going out on the left coast there? I know there's been some very strange weather blowing across. What do you have? Do you have a question, Karen, or would you like me to turn a card for you as you're taking care of people out there and making yourself so useful? Oh, and always learning new things. Karen, takes the classes, and has to keep up with current things, and really does that for people because she takes care of people, and it gets amazing results from what she puts into it. Oh man, Karen, if I were to, what is it I'm feeling coming from you tonight? That there's changes coming. So have these, Karen, have these changes already come in? I'm not sure if you've already experienced this or if it's just about to happen. Here's SJ also joining us in our chat room tonight. One wonderful thing about the technology of today is to be able to do a dozen different readings for different people in this hour. It's just an amazing thing as we all learn from each other, sharing our epiphanies and our mistakes. Sure, everybody makes mistakes. You have to. How do humans learn? It's by making mistakes, right? SJ say, good to see you. SJ, did you have a good Valentine's Day this past week? Oh man. My wife and I have been married for over 50 years. We still send each other Valentine every Valentine's Day. I got my little bag of candy too. SJ say, yes. The first note writing, that's where Valentine's come from. Everybody used to be so rich that they had servants, right? And everybody had a servant that they could send notes by to everybody, little love notes, or meet me here or whatever. And then this is where Valentines come from. They're messages, and what do we do today with our phones and computers? It's all about connecting with each other, sending little messages to each other. How are you this morning? How are you? Good to see you, says SJ. That's wonderful to have people care about you. And this is why we do readings, is to show us, especially by astrology, that we all have a little bit of each one of those 12 signs in us. We all have the same. We all give in to the same temptations. We all have the same fallibles. It's just amazing how like humans are on one side and how different they are on the other side. It's very much like Aquarius people. We're still under the sign of Aquarius. If you're born today, you're an Aquarius with Taurus rising. Taurus is our moon sign tonight. But Aquarius is ruled by Saturn and Uranus. Saturn, the planet of maturity and taking responsibility, and Saturn, just the opposite. I mean, Saturn is unpredictable, inventive, let's do something new. And those two pulls are hitting everybody right now in this time of the year. You have the opposite poles that are pulling you in different directions. SJ is saying, pull a card for SJ. Let's just see here. Karen, we never got back to you a minute ago. It looked like there were some big changes that were coming in. Let's see now. If I pull a card for SJ, oh man, SJ, this is good things. A good surprise is coming, and the person who gives it to you really doesn't quite understand what they're giving you. And very often this can be somebody who's trying to do bad things to you, and it turns out that it's a very good thing, a very lucky thing for you. And SJ say thank you, but this is receiving, SJ. This is that. See, the fish in the cup is not what you expected, right? And what you have coming is the unexpected. Just it's like you you expect one reaction from the Good Samaritan, but they give you a different one. And this is being your ability to be able to accept help that comes from outside the box. Maybe from your enemies, people who say they don't even like you. Can you accept the help that comes from those that you don't like the people? That's a very interesting predicament, isn't it? Because if we turn down the help the universe is trying to give us, this is what I was talking about, the universe hitting you harder next time, giving you more to think about. And boy, things can really pile up on you. And this is the way that the negative side of the universe makes us stop cooperating with each other by showing us each other's mistakes rather than showing us that those people are learning from their mistakes. It just shows us they're making mistakes. And this is why people try to make decisions for other people, because they see them making so many mistakes. And if we don't make mistakes and own up to if we try to hide our mistakes, it's just the worst thing you can do, because you can't. They're going to come out, especially if you have children, right? Your children are around to imitate everything you do and show you every mistake that you ever make. And aren't they wonderful at it? And they come into this world with that talent of being able to completely mimic you, and they don't even know they're doing it. It's just that natural way of you, and you talk like your parents, you walk like your parents, and there's really there's no way to get around it. You so you might as well enjoy it. And this is why we have other people in our lives. This is why we have family. And this again is what Aquarius is all about. Aquarius has that feeling of the entire world being one big family, of being able to. Aquarius, one of the great vocations for Aquarius is astrologer, because it allows helping all other people and being able to show them how they can overcome any problems that they have, and how there's no in all of the previous lives that you have lived, all of the joyous times, the sad times, all of the experiences that you have had, they've done you no permanent harm. You're here to learn. The reason that people come into this life flawed, with bad vision or whatever, the reason they give themselves problems, physical problems, is to give themselves something to overcome in this lifetime, something to work at, something. We choose how we're going to come into this life. And there are so many different ways that we can set ourselves apart from other people. And one of the big ways that has evolved into this modern day that we're living now is for people to choose to have a reincarnated life as the opposite sex. Now, why would you want to do that? Because it's the only way to be able to resist all of the temptations that are going to come your way in this world. The only way to really have a truly spiritual life would be to not have the desire for the opposite sex. I mean, that's got to be the biggest temptation. So, as people are choosing to come back, and boy, here's a good point. When we come back, we're coming back in numbered lifetimes. The seventh is the blessed. The seventh lifetime, each seventh lifetime, and as you go through your karmic lives, the seventh life is the connecting to the spirit world life. And then this would be where one would choose to be the opposite sex, so they can maybe be celibate, and that, being celibate is one of the ways that you can accelerate your own evolution, your own enlightenment. That's right. There are things that we do every day that slow our enlightenment. One of those is having sex. Another is eating red meat. And the other is having illness, something you can't really do anything about whatsoever. If you're like me, if your father was a grocery store butcher, you eat your share of meat before you ever knew that maybe you shouldn't have. And these things slow us down in about 20-year blocks. If you have what today we would consider to be a normal life, and we experience sex, we experience illness, and we eat animals. All of those things would only slow your enlightenment by 20 years each, and you would reach your enlightenment at about 60. I can only tell you that for myself, it was 58. And that's where I had the second heart attack that slowed me down enough to be able to completely change professions. I had to find something to do that I could do from this room that I'm sitting in right now. And this proved to be a wonderful way of connecting and being useful by being a messenger and delivering messages for our friends here tonight. This is a very good way of being able to see that we all share common experiences, and that means we can forgive each other for not being perfect. Oh man, that is one of the great secrets of all time. You don't have to be perfect in this lifetime. And no human being can do it all in any one lifetime. Give yourself a break. Don't try to do it all in this life. It can't be done. Nobody does. You're here to learn. You're here to incrementally learn. Pick it up a little at a time. No, nobody just becomes enlightened overnight. The, the Dalai Lama is in his 14th reincarnation. It can't be done overnight. This is why we have the spirit world. This is why we have spirit guides who are looking for something to do, right? So they ride the air that we breathe right into us, and they sit right there on your heart. Your spirit guides are closer to your mouth than your brain is. This is why you sometimes say things that you wonder, where did that come from? It's probably the best thing I could have said, but I sure didn't mean to say that. And this is how your guides work, how they can put ideas into your mind. And so, how do you know if it is the positive side of the universe or the negative side of the universe that's coming to you? It is, and there's a very simple way. The positive side, the spirit world, the angels, God will always show you the good side that exists in everyone. The good that exists, no matter how small it is. The negative side of the universe will always show you the negative side of a human being. We all have less than perfect parts about us. And you know yourself. Sometimes you see people who see the good in everyone, and sometimes you see people who just pick the bad out of every situation. And this is how your guides are helping you be a part of the great herd that we all are. We're all this great herd of cattle, and what they've done to us right now is they're using financial fences to keep us all locked in. You could not live without the central bank. And the central bank has your entire life and death written down as a financial transaction. A financial transaction that can disappear with a single illness, a get-rich-quick scam, or someone taking revenge against you. And it's gone. It's just poof. That's the reality of the world that we're living in today. And we have been so groomed by our leaders for so long to be greedy, to want more, no matter how much we have, to want to be overserved. We all want to be overserved with whatever makes us angry, right? That's our guides trying to get our emotions going. This is why we watch the news every night, and we expect it to make us angry, right? That's what we're looking for. If we looked for something else, you see, it would have been just as easy to create a completely sane and sensible world as it was to create this world that we're living in today. But the people would not have blindly followed their leaders down the bottomless hole of greed and fear of each other. Governments, religions, they teach fear of people, fear of the unknown, fear of people not like us. This is what they're based upon. And this is why enlightenment doesn't come to the world until we all figure that out. And here's Cody joining us. Cody, we're talking about past lives and how we can use our past lives, and how you have to know that your spirit guides edit your memories. The way you see the past changes over time as your guides edit your memories to teach you what you need to know. Cody asking how I've been. I had a real good Valentine's Day. Cody says, sorry I made it late, on the phone with an older cousin. Wow, Cousin Brucey. Great New York City disc jockey, right? Cousins are the closest thing to siblings you can get. And if you live in the same neighborhood, if you're all around your grandparents, you are as close as siblings. Cousins are wonderful things to have. And it's Cody. Any questions tonight, or would you like me just to pull a card for you? It's good to keep up. Good to keep up with family. They are so they're so close to being a clone of you, and you can see yourself in your cousins, and you can learn from what they're going through. Cody says, me and my cousin were close since my mother was pregnant, and he would talk to me even. Oh, I had a first cousin born less than a month before I was, and we grew up together. And he passed very early, and he has been available to me since that time. Cody says he'd like to have a card pulled. Let's see what's going on. Oh, justice. This is getting to see the inner workings of justice, Cody. This is there may be a legal matter that's pending right now that you're going to see. You're gonna get to see behind the curtain. Like the Wizard of Oz, the little guy behind the curtain. You're gonna see the inner workings of justice and how things happen. So you're gonna have some sort of dealings with yes, with justice, and it's not always fair. As with anything in this world, it's very hard to get things fair. Cody said, The Wizard of Oz, loving that film. They're the greatest special effect of all time, going from black and white to color as they go into the new world. Oh, that's amazing. And imagine introducing color to movies by that. What the reaction of the people in that audience must have been to experience that, and to be a part of something that has stood up for almost 100 years now, as a cornerstone. Think about how many films stole a little bit of an idea from The Wizard of Oz, and how many cliches that we have that come from that movie. It's just amazing when something really works as an entertainment vehicle, and it's a great thing. Cody says, remember parents talking about they remember watching that movie on TV. Yes, because it was color. And see, in the mid 1950s is when they started trying to sell color TVs. And of course, the fact was there was no color programming. This is when they started, television stations started running the old cartoons from movies because they were in color. And you could actually put some color programming on. Came on first in 1956. Yes. I was 6 years old in 1956, and that would have been when we got our first television. Yeah, and it there was such a herd mentality that was put together by network, first radio and then television, of having only 3 choices at most. And depending on what kind of reception you got, lots of times you could only watch 1 or 2 stations. And of course, anytime you changed the station, you had to readjust your rabbit ears for each of the stations that were up there. But because there were so few choices and so many people were just amazed at early television, they became the great influencers. It's you could start an idea on you could really put together almost a mindset of the people that you wanted to come out and enjoy your programming. And one of the very first things that became very popular on network television was wrestling. And in the beginning, wrestling was all about 2 large people laying in the middle of the ring, grunting and groaning and just not really doing much. And of course, it grew from there. And as it grew, it had to take on this unrealistic personality. They had to allow cheating and have the referee turn his back to it. This concept produced heart attacks from Iowa farmers watching these matches on TV where they were cheating, and people like Gorgeous George, who was from New York City, were actually booed on the streets of New York because the people bought into it. They bought the entire premise. And it's you can do so many things. You can really motivate people. And then this has always been the great question: is television and movies, are they imitating life, or is life imitating the movies? Are you creating crime by showing crime in your movie? And that's always been an unanswered question, because nobody wants to know the answer to that one, because they do know that. The greatest learning device in the history of the world is video. Video, movies, television, it's all the same thing. It is such a great way of learning. Cody, we talk about all of the comedians. Well, suddenly, after every comedian appeared on television in the 1950s, we get the 1960s, where there's 10 times as many comedians. And then the 70s, where suddenly we have comedy clubs, and comics are all across the nation. They all learn what to do by watching videos, watching Johnny Carson set up a joke and then knock them down. And 10-year-old kids were able to see, so that's how you entertain people. That's timing. That's why these people are laughing, even if it was a laugh track. This is why they cued the laughter right there, because that was a joke. But we trained so many comedians. Think about it. In the 1950s, everybody is Alan King. They all look like they're middle aged, right? And then suddenly we have Bob Newhart and Bill Cosby. Remember Bill Cosby as the youngest comedian going? Yeah. And the Smothers Brothers. They began in college, playing coffee houses. And it's comedy grew exponentially with television. And you can see the same thing in all sports. As our athletes get younger and younger and younger, because they're able to see by video exactly how to do it, but before they ever even go out and attempt it themselves. Cody says, like Burl, Skelton, Gleason, and Caesar, and many of the yeah, Cosmo, yeah, all on these, and it really crystallizes in Steve Martin, kid from California. Steve Martin was working the stage in the Knott's Berry Farm when he was a kid. Right? He knew exactly what he was going to do. He was like it's like Carson. Carson was doing ventriloquism as a small child to entertain his mother, and that's another whole story. That Carson's mother would never showed him that she thought he was very good. This is why he had such a passion for entertaining, for making people laugh. Think about Carson. The whole point was to make those people laugh. They were the most jaded audience there'd ever been, and Carson could make them laugh at themselves. It was a great talent. It's what we see in comedians now, being able to connect, and this is cooperation. It is what the whole world is about. Cody says the 70s we had Jay Leno, Steve Martin, Letterman, Robin Williams, Carol Burnett. Oh. Carol Burnett was one of the first riffers, whether she could just take a scene, take a skit, and turn it into something else entirely. And way before the Carol Burnett show. She was the girl on the Gary Moore show, and did all the female parts, and it began as a very physical, I Love Lucy, physical sort of comedian. And of course, this is where what was learned from all those vaudeville comics is that you can make anything funny if you do it right. Right? Yeah, putting on a coat or something can be a very funny thing. Cody says, regular on the Gary Moore show. See, Gary Moore was a very understated, kind of like George Gobel, very understated, very funny comedian. But you mentioned Letterman a minute ago. Do you remember the first Letterman show, which was a midday, half-hour kind of comedy variety show? Letterman was the weatherman in Indianapolis on the TV station there when he got his break, and that's the first show they tried to put him in was in the middle of the day when they were, and this is the days of Mary Hartman, where they were really trying to reach a whole new audience with soap operas, because they knew that all of these stoners were sitting out there watching TV all day, and this is why Letterman was put on in the middle of the day. It was 1980, says Cody, that David Letterman got his morning variety show, but it failed, and because there was no audience for it. The Johnny Carson also began on the show called Who Do You Trust? Ed McMahon was the announcer, and Carson would come out and introduce these funny people. This guy can shave me in half a minute, and it was only on for a year or two. So it really, if you don't have the right presentation, if you don't have the right idea, it doesn't matter what's going to happen. So this is why Saturday Night Live was such a huge game changer. And see, daytime TV was very much like late night TV, and in the early, late 60s, early 70s, in that there was nothing there. I mean, there was just nothing there. So this is why they were trying to expand the audience, and this is where we get the absurd humor. That's Mary Hartman. Mary Hartman certainly was a cornerstone of. I don't know if anyone ever really got the point of that show at all, or if there really was a point to Mary Hartman standing in her kitchen trying to clean the corner, right, with her mop. Cody says for 4 or 5 years, the Tonight Show replaced Jack Barr. Yeah. The format of the talk show is really what people like Steve Allen and Jack Parr, very hip New York City guy, and he'd just come out and be himself. And when the censors started trying to going to let these people tell me what to do. And it came back about a week later and said, boy, wasn't that a stupid thing for me to do? There were one of the really great things about the David Letterman show, that when he first moved to nights, was that they took live letters from uh, people I knew. People got that I knew got on Letterman by writing absurd letters, and they would read them because they really had nothing else to do. And imagine an hour and a half talk show, and that's what Carson started with and worked with all those years, was filling 90 minutes of this network time killers, as Letterman would call them later on. Letterman in the beginning, they would put the camera out the window and take pictures of the building next to them and try to wave at the people over in the other building. This was live TV. Wow. They would go down and do interviews with people who were standing in line trying to get into the theaters. Okay. Cody says, I've heard Jack Parr retired in March 62 as he's and they fill in guest host for every week. Yes. You see, Carson is the one who invents the concept of the guest host. Why? Because he owns the production company. Carson could have anything he wanted. He owned the production company that put the program on the air. And it's when you have that sort of confidence in yourself, you can you but something also about comedy is where comedy went astray, where comedy left the family entertainment business and went to the blue entertainment business. And I guess we could blame or praise Richard Pryor for doing that, but it really caused such a change when the material changed, and this is something that the Vietnam War did. I mean, they took the Smothers Brothers right off the air, and everyone was tiptoeing around because for the first time ever, the FCC was trying to show their muscle, was trying to step out there and tell people how to do it. And man, that never worked. It never did. The network television has never really recovered from cable coming in, but the biggest change of cable TV was when we went to 24-hour news. And as anybody can tell you, that's insane. There's no way that you can put on live breaking news 24 hours a day. You end up with what we have now. Inventing the news, reporting on themselves, reporting on each other, literally inventing, making up the news, and always trying to find something that'll make you angry. Cody says by the 1980s, Carson became big boss. And the people, Joan Rivers, the people who, Burt Reynolds, came out of nowhere and became the mega star because of sitting on the couch with Carson and making Carson laugh. If you could make Carson laugh, you own the country. It was Bob Euchre came out of obscurity to become a legend. The baseball announcer, who is one of the funniest people on the face of the earth, and always has been. Um, it's it's always a matter of what is being presented, and this is where the the critics have always seen that television always plays to the lowest common denominator, and always trying to make money. And aren't we all? Aren't we all? Of course we are. That is our hour for tonight. And I'd like to say thank you for all of our participants in the show. Remember to hit the thumbs up button to show your support. And remember, all of our content is now also on Spotify. So until next week, same time, same station, for the Cosmic Watch, I am Franklin, your astrologer, and I do appreciate you being here tonight.